What up, free bosses? I'm here with my buddy Circa, and we were just kind of chilling, talking about different marketing strategies that we've been experimenting with. Circa started a company called Indiepreneur. And Circa, what is Indiepreneur?
Indiepreneur is a company with a mission of changing how the music industry works by using these same tactics to help independent musicians build a business all on their own.
So Circa is a remote worker. He's his own boss. He's a free boss. Basically, he does Indiepreneur full-time as well as doing marketing services for his clients as well. Indiepreneur is probably his true passion, right? So over time, he's kind of shying away from the freelancer work to really grow and scale Indiepreneur. So how are you able to grow Indiepreneur? Like, what's the time frame on when you started Indiepreneur to where you're at right now? And
right, good question. I started in February or March, like end of February, we started making sales, right? And then we automated a lot of the stuff through March. Cut to today, last month, in August, we had our first 5-figure month. And then we've had 5-figure months in September, on track to have 5-figure month this month as well.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, he was telling me earlier, so in your first year of starting this business, it's gonna be a 6-figure earning business. Yeah,
definitely. It's at that level now. Pending some major catastrophe, it's going to keep going up.
So you didn't know any of this kind of like internet marketing strategies like a year and a half ago, right? And then all of a sudden you just started educating yourself like crazy and you created this whole new career, this whole new reality for yourself. So how did that happen?
Well, I've always been like the kind of like, if I see something I'm interested in, I can learn everything about that. If I'm not interested in it, I'll just flunk out of that school, right? Yeah. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is how all the money is made in the world. Like, if some iteration of this is how everything is created. So
from the internet or from just marketing in
general?
From
marketing. I think marketing and innovation are the reason for all business. And when you discover how it works, you're like, I need to know everything, right? So diving in it, within months, I went from living in a closet to making thousands of dollars a week. And it's not like I'm, been doing this stuff forever. It's just that so many people are bewildered by the idea of like an automatic selling machine that they'll just give you money if you know any of it, right?
Well, and the reason why, I would say the reason why that you made this huge jump from living in a closet to making good money is because you invested the time and energy into learning the skills.
Big time,
growing your knowledge base, and then implementing that because it seems like there's a lot of demand for that type of work, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and massive action is all it takes. So like, it's fine to learn all this stuff, but until you take action, none of it's gonna matter.
Yeah.
And the second you do take action, it's its own reward. You're already transported to a different reality. So definitely you gotta learn a whole lot and then you gotta actually try it and the whole world's waiting for you beyond that.
So let's give them some actual tactical value of how they can literally implement some of the tips and strategies that you've been using to grow Indiepreneur.
Yeah.
What would you say is one landing page tip of how you've been able to increase your conversion rate?
Simpler has been better for us. So when people are going to opt in, you might think like, I need to win them over, right? Like before they're gonna enter their name and email. Typically that's not true. You have an opportunity to get someone to opt in just off impulse and then you can show and prove on the back end. Whereas I thought you had to like make them feel completely comfortable with everything about you as a company before they're gonna give you their name and email. That's not the case. People will opt in for something just because they're curious and then you deliver that value on the back end. So by simplifying down, less text, less information on the front end, we're actually able to increase opt-ins.
And how is your quality of opt-in? How's your quality of lead?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that, like, if you're getting impulsive opt-ins, does that make your lead quality lower?
Well, it can. But what I've found is that like people will give you their name and email address and then you may get more unsubscribes than you used to. But like your first email sequence should be all that value. So you'll get more subs, more unsubscribes, but you'll at least have the opportunity to educate them through email instead of like hoping that they dig everything on the front end and then opt in. That makes sense?
Okay.
Definitely something to test, but for us, simpler has been better.
So when you say simpler has been better, what's like the exact layout of how you kind of lay out your free opt-in page? Because free is a big thing. You got to keep in mind that it's a free opt-in, just taking their name and email. If you're presenting them with a product, obviously you may have to do more selling.
We used to have a headline and then a screenshot that proves what we're saying, and then some values and benefits of the opt-in, like of what they're getting, and then a video explainer above an opt-in form. We switched to just a headline, a video explainer, and an opt-in form, and it bumped us by about 4%.
And that's it, huh?
Yeah.
Nothing below the opt-in form.
Nothing except for our privacy policy in terms of service. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was quite surprising. But I think the psychology is sound. Definitely something to test. It depends on what you're offering people. But sometimes it can be better to just get them in your world and then prove.
So when you have these simple landing pages, right, and then you're doing your split tests even further, what are some of the little things that you've just split tested, even though it's such a basic landing page?
Button color is huge. Adding the words "it's free" to the button has bumped conversions for us. Little things like that. Like there's always a little thing you can test. Changing from a head-on video explaining what the opt-in is to maybe words on a screen can bump conversions. Changing little words in the... If you have post copy in your landing page, you have this copy that says like, or words that say like, you know, you can opt in to get this thing, and then we will. That's all future tensing. If you say, people are opting in right now and taking advantage of this thing, that's present. You're in the present, and people respond to that typically better.
Yeah, so with that, you're doing social proof. You're saying people are doing this right now. So you're proving that you're in demand, that people are taking action, that this is happening. You're also assuming the sale.
And you're activating FOMO. You're basically showing them like, everyone's doing this and you're missing out.
Fear of missing out, if you don't know what FOMO means.
Yeah.
So after they opt in on your landing page, then what kind of email follow-up? What are the messages that they're being sent? What do they say?
Absolutely. So right after they opt in, they're offered a low dollar product. If they don't take it, they are sent, you know, what they opted in for, and then what digital marketer calls a gain logic fear campaign, which is like, hey, I'm going to give you this discount on this thing. The next email is, you really should take this because like it is what you wanted. And then the last one is like, hey, this isn't going to be around for very long. Here's the timer.
So speaking about emails and stuff, so let's just get really honed in on one little thing about the emails. So first, what is the timing of like do they get that email immediately, or does it maybe take like an hour to get the email, and then what's the next email after that?
Yeah.
And then talk about like subject lines and email strategies of like how are you getting them to open the email with certain subject lines?
I mean, we use a pretty out-the-box method, but as soon as they opt in, the thank you page for that is an offer for this $7 product. They don't buy it, they are pretty much within an hour sent what they opted in for. So it's our cheat sheet. And that is like, you know, this actually works. That's the headline. Then
So I assume on the thank you page, it's an immediate upsell on the thank you page, selling them, but then you're also saying on the thank you page, you know, you will be getting your email here soon, so you're telling them to expect that here soon.
Yeah, it actually says important, your cheat sheet is on the way to your inbox, please watch this video. Or like, you must watch this video, right?
Okay.
Because people don't really know why they must watch this video. And even if it's just to read every bit of your sales letter, like you can bake in different reasons into the video. So it provides value, it also offers a sale. And if they don't take it or they click off, then they immediately are delivered what they opted in for. And then if they're in America, every day thereafter, we deliver them the gain logic fear. So like, here's this discount, you really should take this because you opted in for this thing, and then like, this is about to expire.
Only in America, huh? So you're only following up the emails?
No, because in Britain, we do every other day. They're more touchy, right? Like they are a little bit more polite as a people than we are in America. We're much more sales, consumption driven, yeah. So what I found is that our unsubscribe rate was significantly lower if we spaced it out in the UK.
Only in UK. Did you test that with the US as well?
Yeah, absolutely. No difference when we spaced it out to when we shoved it all together, but the UK was a difference.
Now, how are you actually, like, is that a completely separate funnel, or how are you separating the UK from the US?
Right, so they get triggered in through deadline funnel, which is basically taking their IP, and then that IP is converted into an approximate location. We know if they're in the country or not. And then we just send a different email follow-up to UK subscribers. Another way to do it, though, which we investigated, it was just a little bit too intense, was you can run the ads to a different landing page. And then have at the ad level, you're only targeting UK.
Yeah, see, and that's what I thought you were doing. So Deadline Funnel is a third-party software, and how do you use Deadline Funnel into your funnel right now?
As soon as people opt in, basically Deadline Funnel says, hey, this IP is now a subscriber. They have 7 days to claim this offer. If they visit any of those offer pages, Deadline Funnel will throw up a timer. It'll say, this is how much left you have. And then when it's expired, it sends them to a different page when they visit that page.
So your email, is that actual email information going to Deadline Funnel, or is that going to your email
It's going to both, right? So deadline funnel's grabbing the IP typically and not the email unless you integrate that. And then Actionetics/ClickFunnels is grabbing everything else.
So you have your tripwire that sells them immediately after they opt in for free. They have the tripwire that sells them the $7 product. Then if they buy that $7 product, then you're upselling them to
a $97 product.
A $97 product, which is your core offer?
Yes, yeah. And the core offer retail value is $197 on our page. Some people will just come to our page, dig what we're doing, and buy it.
So if they didn't buy the $7 product, they're not even offered the $97.
Right, sometimes they are, which I don't mean to confuse anyone, but if they visit our sales page for the $197 offer, they are retargeted in Facebook for a discount, 50%. Yeah. Right. Okay. So there's multiple pathways for them to get to 97, but ultimately about 10 to 15% of people purchase as soon as they can. And then another 30%, 40% purchase in the 30 days following, and the rest take anywhere from 60 to 90 days to purchase. Okay. So if you look at that, that's probably around half of your conversions are going to happen after the 30-day mark, at least in my space. So when we go to scale, we go to spend more on Facebook ads, we really have to consider, well, if we're gonna spend extra money this month, it's not gonna come back for another 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important, because if you're gonna spend, let's say, you want to go from $5,000 in Facebook ad spend to now you want to spend $6,000.
Yeah.
You need to know that you're not going to see a return on that, or you may even have a little bit of a lower ROI.
Yeah.
For another, what was it, 60 days?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah. If you look at it like, let's say you have 100 leads. That's how you tested out your funnel, right? And you got your figures back and you know the conversion rate of your funnel at that volume. Your ads might be costing you a little bit more than you make in like a 7-day time frame.
So when they initially opt into your funnel for free, right? Then you're saying that there's a 60-day period to when they'll actually buy your core product, your $97 product,
on average,
right?
Yeah.
So during that 60-day period, what is happening? How are you warming them up?
So as soon as someone buys our tripwire, yes, it does subsidize the cost of ads. And it does make it easier for people to purchase. But if it's incredibly valuable, it also convinces them. Where like, you know, if someone was skeptical at 97 and then they buy at 7 because, you know, it's just such a low price, and then you wow them with that $7 experience, their likelihood to convert to 97 is much, much higher. So we use that to just really wow them, and that's our first nurturing play. It's like buy the tripwire and see how much value we give you for $7. Then we switch them to daily emails. So I'm emailing out podcasts, live streams, different helpful free content. And then in the footer of every email I send daily, there is all of our 4 biggest offers.
You're using content to warm them up. They first opt in. Over time, they're getting these emails. I'm assuming they're also getting Facebook ads, retargeting them.
Yep.
You're marketing content to them and warming them up. I guess with your content, I would assume your goal is to build trust, credibility, rapport, familiarity. Yeah. How are some of the ways that you're actually doing that? How are you building trust? Like what's one of your forms of content that you're like, wow, with this piece of content, we're building massive trust?
Well, when we give specific strategies or something that we could charge for away, that builds massive trust. When we identify with influencers in the space, right? So like when I was invited on Digital Marketers podcast, well, there's people on my list who also like Digital Marketer. So for them, they're sold the second I'm on that podcast. So if you look at the other people in your space who your audience follows and you're able to associate yourself with them, that will be an automatic sale for those people, right?
Okay.
It's almost instant. So that helps out with content. Also, revealing more of yourself, being yourself more. A lot of people have emailed me and said, you know what, this last podcast, what you said, that made me purchase.
So being more personal with them.
Yeah.
Showing that you're a human, you're just like them.
Yeah, be unafraid to just be you. If you're at a human level, you admit all of your flaws in your content, and then you say, and I'm still trying. That puts you on a level with your audience where they're like, I can trust this guy because he's very much like me.
So basically, yeah, don't try to be the hero that solves all your prospects' problems. Try to be the guide that guides them along their journey to finding all the solutions to their problem. Because, like he says, heroes get slayed and guides get paid. So be that guide for your prospect to finding that solution and overall making their life better.
Yeah, and that all has to do with like, you're not here to be infallible, right? You can be wrong. You can be angry. You can be less than the person you want to be at any given time, and it will endear your audience to you much more than just trying to be flawless.
So thanks so much for jumping on this video with me, Circa, and providing a lot of value and knowledge to everybody that's watching. Do you have any plugs or any call to actions that we can tell people to go learn more about you?
If you Google my name, you'll find me, but most importantly, learn this stuff and then do it. It'll change your life.
Yeah, so learn it. Just put in the time to learn this stuff because, I mean, he said, what, a year and a half he spent learning it. For me, it was probably maybe like 2 years, 3 years until I learned the knowledge and then I was able to actually start making money from that knowledge that I had learned. So, so the main call to action from this video is take action now, learn this internet marketing knowledge stuff, and it will pay off.
Definitely.